Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Kirsten and it's time for my March bullet journal setup. Okay, who else is over all of this cold weather? It has been freezing here in the UK. February has been so cold. I am so over it and I cannot wait for summertime. I am not a fan of this weather at all. Now, I should probably stop complaining and get on with what this month's theme actually is, and if you haven't guessed it, it is a witch theme. I am really excited for this one. I wanted to do something different to the animals that I did in February and January, so I decided to go with this witch vibe instead, and I did have, as I said, a lot of fun doing this one. Now for the hand itself, I did end up going in with some fine liner just to give a bit of added definition. I could have layered up the gouache a bit more, but I was a little bit worried just in case the paper quality didn't quite hold up to it. I will say it's very good for these light washes, but I haven't tried it with a thicker level of gouache, if that makes sense. Probably not. Anyway, as usual, I'm just using my black brush pen here for the actual title of March before moving on to my next spread, and this is a new one. I am tracking my purchases here. I figured it would be a really good way to make sure that I'm not spending money unnecessarily and just keep track of what I am actually buying throughout the month and see if there's any things that maybe I don't strictly need to have each month. So we'll see how that goes. For this monthly setup, I stuck to something very similar to the January one. I really liked how that turned out and just the simplicity of it all. So I've gone with just a pentagram in the corner, and then I'm using a brown fine liner for all the detailing of the actual monthly calendar. And that's just because I find this a little bit softer than black, and I do prefer it. Now you are seeing a bit of a sneak peek into my upload schedule for the month. I plan out what videos I want to do quite far in advance. I use my future log for this. So when it comes to actually penciling out my monthly calendar, I already have an idea of what videos will be uploaded and when. So this is a little bit of a sneak peek into what March is going to be looking like. I really like the way this looks. I just really love the simplicity. So now we're moving on to my to-do list for the month, and again there's been another change here. Instead of just having it on one page, I've now done it on a double spread. Now the reason for this will become clear when we get to my weekly spreads, but for now I've also made another change in how I track my to-do list, and that's with mainly here is my videos, because that's what I knew I was going to be doing when I was planning all this out, and that is having a box for each part so I can track the progress of it. Rather than just having the video that I need to be ready, I can track each part of it, so when it's been filmed, when it's been edited, when it's been uploaded. So I'm hoping that will really help me stay on top of how many things I've got going on at once, because sometimes I'll have multiple videos filmed and then I'll forget which ones that need to be edited and things like that. It will just be a lot simpler. That's the plan. Moving on to my habit and health tracking spread. I really love the layout of this month. I think it's really nice. The previous ones I haven't been as big of a fan of, but I really like having two line crafts like this across the page. I have changed my habit tracker to a line graph instead of the mini calendars that I was doing, mainly because it was really killing my hand to keep drawing out the calendars, and I have more habits that I now want to track instead of just the 3, so it just makes life a lot easier to do it like this. So from now on I want to still track my yoga and vitamins, but I'm also tracking my journaling and also tarot cards. I really enjoy tarot cards, and I will say that is where I got the idea for this witchy theme. Now the health tracker is something that I barely used in February. I'm going to see if I use it in March. If it turns out that I don't again, then I'll probably scrap it for a different tracker, probably a social media tracker, I'm not sure. Maybe put your thoughts down below of what you think I could track. And now for another change, and that's to my weekly spreads. I went for something that's a lot more simple, but I also went for a Dutch door layout. Now I have seen so many gorgeous Dutch door layouts on YouTube and on Instagram. I think they are beautiful and I've always wanted to do one. But as this is my first one, I wanted to do something that was really simple. So I have gone for this horizontal weekly layout. So each day has its own horizontal line, apart from the weekend, which has been split into two. And that's normally because I really don't do much across the weekend, apart from work on a Saturday. So I like to try and keep my weekend as hassle-free as possible, so I don't need that much space for those days. Now another change is because of this Dutch door layout, I no longer have a weekly to-do list, which is why I've also made my monthly to-do list into a double page spread, because that is going to have every little task I need on there, so that before each week I can refer back to that to plan out what I need to do for the week and just see where I'm at in terms of everything I need to get done within the month. I don't know how this is going to go, honestly. I'm a little bit dubious, but I'm really hoping it works well because I really enjoy doing Dutch doors. It was so much fun to do, so I'd love to be able to do more of them, but I need to see whether this monthly to-do list will work for my weekly spreads as well, if that made sense. Now don't worry about the wastage of all the paper because these don't get thrown in the bin. I reuse them. I use them to stick in my other journals when I run out of space and other things. So none of that gets wasted, thankfully, because that was the other downside I had to Dutch door is what about all the paper wastage? But I've come up with an idea for that, so I'm no longer worried. Now for the actual artwork I wanted for this weekly spread, because I did a Dutch door, I didn't need to do one for each week. So instead I went for a theme that could go across the whole of my weekly spread, because again of the Dutch door it only had to go across 2 pages. And what is a witch theme without the moon phases? I really had fun doing this, even though I had to redo them a couple of times to get it right. I really like the way it turned out. Although looking at it now, I am wishing I put a little bit of colour into them because they just seem so bland. Like, I think it just needed a pop of colour in those moons and then it would be perfect. So maybe I'll add that in. If I do, I'll put a picture of it up. But yeah, feeling like I should have done that. Now this is the very last spread, and as usual it is my monthly reflection, so of course I had to have a crystal ball for this. Again, I'm using the purple and pinks, which might be the colour of the moon if I decide to go back in and do it. We'll see. I really love monthly reflection spreads. I think they're just a great way to bring something positive out of the month. And I think we all need that, especially at the moment with everything that is going on in the world. It's so important to still try and remember things that have been positive. So I have really enjoyed throughout the week just taking a moment to reflect on something that's made me happy and being able to write it down and look back on it. It has been really positive. So that's it. This is my simple witchy theme for this month's setup. I really like it. I like the addition of the purchases tracker and the changes I made to the habit and health tracker layout. I really like that. Fingers crossed, this monthly to-do list will work. I'm not sure, but I am hopeful. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. I hope you all have had a good month, as I said. If you have liked the video, then as always, please do give it that thumbs up and subscribe. I hope you are all well, and I will catch you in the next video.